So in the traditional Spanish racial hierarchy, you have the peninsulares, the criollos, and then you have castizo in between mestizo. So a castizo person has a mestizo parent and a European parent. So this is where we get into Mejora la Raza, energy. Check out my Mejora la Raza video. And I also want you guys to remember there were incentives for mestizos to abandon their indigenous heritage because it didn't happen easy. There were mestizos living in indigenous communities who were taxed with the tribute taxes. So there were lots of incentives to tax people out of their ancestry, or to just like incentivize them to abandon it. So it's important to remember that. And check out my video on the tribute taxes.
So these are what a mestizo person might look like. It could vary though, because every indigenous population has different distinct features. So depending on the country, a mestizo will look different. Like in El Salvador, mestizos look super, super different from like Argentina. Modernly, mestizos kind of control like Latinidad within the United States. So within the American Latino spaces, the people who run those spaces, they're 9 times out of 10 are going to be mestizos. And this is because most Latin Americans are mestizo at this point. Check out my mestizaje video if like you're like confused about like some of the stuff. Mestizaje is kind of messed up for the mestizos, even though they have a lot of clout, they have a lot of power. Like that's the people who have the most question marks of like where do they come from, because a lot of times their ancestors actually abandoned their ancestry to be assimilated into mestizaje. They tend to have, for me, in my opinion, the biggest question marks about where they come from. And also, if they didn't abandon willingly, some of these people actually, ancestors were taken from indigenous communities and villages and raised with European people, or raised with criollos, raised with peninsulares. Next, I'll be talking Afro-Mestizos, Afro-Indigenous. If you like this, come to my next webinar. It is on the 29th. I'm talking Afro-Latinos in Hollywood, people that you don't know that were a part of the Hollywood system as early as the 30s. So super excited about that. Follow me on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. I'm going to be doing more videos, going live. So subscribe to my Instagram if you like this.